Hi Ryan. So let me see if I can explain the Unit 3 stuff that you need to help with. It's actually very simple. You just need to remember one formula and a variation of it, and that formula is the formula for part equals base times rate. Or if you're looking for base, that's part divided by rate. The rate is always given in percentages, and that needs to be changed into a decimal in the problem. That's the first thing you need to remember. Then you just decide what it is that you need. Okay? If you need the base, this is the formula you need. You divide the part, which is a small number in the problem, by the rate, which would be a percentage in the problem. That's how you recognize them. If you need the part and you have the base, then you multiply the base times rate. So in this case, let me go to some of the examples over here that you have. So let's take a look at this line right here, okay? And finding rate, okay? For example, this is finding base, finding rate, finding base. So if you want the base, then you use this formula right here. Base equals part over rate. Okay? If you want rate, okay, you use a variation of this one, which is just like the part, which will be rate equals part over base. Okay? So it's the same formula. We just switch things around to make calculations easier. Okay? So that's the first thing that you need to know. Right? Then you have things such as this one right here when you have increase and decrease problems. Well, increase and decrease problems use the same exact formulas. The only thing is that that rate that you have to either add it to 100% or subtract from 100%. In increase formulas, you have a base that keeps its original value of 100%, and then whatever rate it's given the problem gets added to that. In a decrease formula, you have a base that has been decreased by that amount, so you have to subtract your rate given in the formula from 100. So let's try this practice problem right here. So this is an increase problem. It says that after an increase, you have 27,195, and it has been increased by 5%. That means that there was originally an amount here which was increased by 5% to result in 27,195. So we know that because we're looking for the base equals part over rate. Okay? Alright, so what is our part? Our part is the number in the problem, 27,195. And the rate is not just 5%, it's 100 plus 5. Because the base has kept its original value and is increased by 5%. So it's 105%, which as a decimal, okay, it will be 1.05 because we moved the decimal point 2 places to the left to make a percentage into a decimal. And if we divide this by that, we get our answer. So let's use a calculator. Okay, move it around so you can see a little bit better, maybe. So we are going to divide 27,195 . Let's try that again. 27,195 and divide that by 1.05. And that gives me 25,900, which would be the answer that goes here. Which makes sense that it's lower than this one because originally it was 25,900 and it increased by 5% So it kept its original value of 21,900 and then was increased by 5% in addition to that, and that's what you will put in there. Okay, so that's an example of an increased problem. Okay, for a decreased problem, let's see if we can find one that for you. Go back. So here's a decreased problem. Okay, when you see the decreased problem, you use the same formula, except that this time instead of adding your rate to 100%, you subtract that from 100% because your value has been decreased by that much. Okay, so if it's a decreased problem, then take a look at your percentage. Your percentage right given here is 30, right? Or because it's a decrease, that's a decrease from 100%. It has lost value. So 100% minus 30% is 70%. 70% as a decimal, if we move the decimal point 2 places to the left, is 0.7. So now we go back to the original formula that we had. Part equals base. I'm sorry, let me try this again. Base equals part over rate. So our base is 12,593. I'm going to divide that by 0.7, and that will give us our answer here. So for increased problems, add whatever rate they give you to the percentage, and then change that into decimal. For decreased problems, subtract the percentage they give you from 100% and use that in your formula. If it's just part or base, that's a lot simpler. So let's try some examples of that one for you. If you look at these right here, these don't have increase or decrease. So basically, you change your percentage to a decimal, and you work again with your formulas, same exact formulas. So if you're looking for a base and you have part and rate, all you need to do is change your percentage into a decimal and put them in place. So, for example, let's try this right here. Okay, finding the base right here, this one right here. Okay, 40 miles is 80% of what? Okay, so my formula is base is part over rate. Okay, my part is 40. My rate is 80%, which as a decimal would be 0.8. And I divide and I will get my answer. As simple as that. Let's try one that's the opposite. When you are looking for the part. And that would be right here. Here's an example. Okay. So you want the part this time, okay? And part equals, like that, okay? Part equals base times rate, okay? So we don't have the part. The base is 640. The rate is 35%, which as a decimal would be 12.35. And you multiply that, and then you would get the part. Okay. So basically, then you're working with the same formula over and over again. Okay. Same exact formula. Alright, these are all the same. Just decide what is it you're looking for. If you're looking for part, you multiply base times rate. If you're looking for base, you divide part divided by rate. If you're looking for rate, you divide part divided by base. And you know that the rate is whatever is given to you in the percentage. Okay? And that's how you know that is not part. Okay? Just remember to change the percentages into decimals. And in increase and decrease problems, add whatever percentage they give you to 100% before you put in the formulas. In decreased formula, subtract that percentage from 100 before you put in the formula, but it's the same exact formula that you're using over and over again. Hopefully this helps. Try some of the practice problems now with this, and then let me know if you have other questions.